Okay, this is the East Coast Economic Update for June the 5th, 2009. I would like to reintroduce the anti-New World Order squeaky chair is now back in operation. I just want to share that with the group. It's back. And it's scaring the New World Order. All right, so very strange thing about numbers in an explanation of the lovely unemployment numbers. 345,000, but yet ADP had 545, and 2 weeks ago the standing number was at 631, and yet we still hit 9.4. Why? Because the numbers from the previous month were adjusted up. This will shake out by July. They can't hide the numbers if everybody, if 1 in 7 or 1 in 10 people are unemployed. In other news, I'm going to put a link to Bloomberg. Ignore the fact that the market is up and down and whatever around. The bonds are still rising. In fact, if you look at the prices, if you look, you'll see on the Bloomberg, and you go down to the bonds between the 10 and the 30-year bonds, you'll see price, and then you'll see the rate, the yield. The number that says 99 whatever, look at the three numbers. The 2-year is now way higher than the 10-year, and the 10-year is way higher than, or much higher than, the 30-year. The inversion is already happening on the price end. Now the yield curves usually follow within about 2 or 3 weeks. So be aware of that. Unemployment rates, well, of course, the U6 numbers, and we've talked about this with shadowstats.com. If you ever want to spend a little money, go on shadowstats.com. I'll put the website here. The real number officially with the U6, the U3, and the U2 numbers, the U4 numbers, is closer to 16.5% to 17%, which is 1930 numbers, 1930, 1931 numbers. We hit 25%, I believe, by 1936 or 1934. So let's be aware here, guys. How many times have they played games with the numbers and then they suddenly adjust in the middle of the month, and neither Bloomberg or any of the mainstream media has even mentioned it, and then suddenly the number went up anyway? No one ever asks the question. So as usual, watch those bond numbers. Those are the ones. That's what's telling you how bad the government's getting. That's the government's credit rating that no one ever announces. They talk about treasury yields, but they cursorily say it about it. Also, in other news or other complete news, we have, excuse me, I just want to catch my thought here. I'm looking at Bloomberg. You find that now they're starting to go after people at Countrywide, particularly Malzo. I'm going to see if I can find this website, but there was an interesting story that a gentleman had sent an email asking. At the time, Countrywide was saying that they would refinance your house or lower your mortgage rate, and this fellow on a blog went looking for his looking to talk to Countrywide, which was holding his mortgage, and he was like an upper level manager. He was making a lot of money, and had emailed all the way up and called, and they said they couldn't help him, even though they said they would publicly. And finally, he got the email of this guy, the CEO of Countrywide, and the guy responded by accident, or maybe he just doesn't know how to use a computer, but he responded to everybody in the group, including the guy who had sent the email, saying, "Why are these peasants," I'm paraphrasing, "bothering me with such issues? Tell them to pay their mortgages." So this guy has now also been found out, and I'll put this article here, that he bailed out of his stock quietly almost 9 months before the complete collapse of both Countrywide and the mortgage industry. So a lot of people in high-end spots knew that this stuff was going to go crap up, not just, you know, us tinfoil hat folks. So the smart money, as I said in a couple of videos before, don't listen to what people are saying, watch what they're doing. So I think that most of the banks, fairly, based on this knucklehead, were well aware of what they were doing and well aware that this was going to collapse the economy. So, because they made a lot of money bailing out of their own companies. So I'm just going to leave those thoughts with you. And that's it. It's a light day today because we've been talking about a lot of stuff for the last 2 weeks. We kind of expected the numbers. The 345 number, based on the prior numbers that happened week to week, and the ADP number really shows us a loss of 631,000. So even under the government's numbers, once they adjust it up next month, and you know they are, it's going to be closer to 9.8, 9.9. So there's that 10% unemployment rate I had mentioned back in February. They're holding it down because they had predicted it would reach 11% by 2010. It's going to reach 13% by 2010. And that's their numbers. So it'll be 25% ShadowStat numbers or U6 numbers. All right, guys. Peace to everyone. Keep your eyes open. Keep your powder dry. And do what you can to unhook yourself from this disaster. Peace.